My cable access television show Life's Lessons, ABCS, is my therapy. The shows I do allow me to face my fears, demons, and my few happy times in life. I was very impressed by the orderly fashion my grandparents, Alice Dillon Payton and Carlos Payton, ran their household. I lived with them along with my two aunts, Mary Alice Payton Bennett and Flora Payton Toy, from 9 months until I was 7. All the people I knew at that time, our neighbors, had a Saturday morning ritual of scrubbing, dusting, waxing, and going grocery shopping. My stepfather and I, my step-grandfather rather, and I did the grocery shopping. I used to go with him to Mr. Jackson's corner store. Mr. Jackson was of my hue and my hair texture. The television shows I do give me a chance to show you, the viewer, my experiences of the cleanliness, neatness, and things being done in an orderly fashion at my grandparents' home. I can imitate their style by showing an artistic piece gleaming in an eclectic setting on the stage of my television show or in an essay or poem. So sometimes, in the guise of a television show, an essay, a poem, a reading, a piece of my on-crew artwork, different talents, or a group discussion, I throw my thoughts and emotions out into the universe, so the ones coming behind me with those same thoughts and emotions can have as much joy or as little sorrow as possible. Carol Bolton L. I want to acknowledge the passing of Terrence Johnson, Kitty Johnson's son, Leona Johnson's son, and Dana's brother. And this is a picture that someone sent to me from him years and years ago, over 30 years ago. And I've lost a lot of things, but I never lost this. And thank you so much, Terrence, and peace be with you. Isis had combed the universe for the remains of Osiris. She had given him the funerary rites of passage. And later, she said, I have a problem. I go to comb my hair and I feel it. I trace the contours of my face and I feel it. I go to sandal my feet, and because it's close to the earth, his touch is my touch, and I grasp for him in the air eludes me. I stumble down to the edge of the now and squat. She spit into the red clay, her saliva containing the holy breath into the red clay, and she began to mold. You see, she is the originator of the pottery scene from the movie Ghost. And she stood and she said, rise. My brother Seth has torn a part of me away that I cannot rejuvenate. The pain is so great I cannot dwell on it long enough to fix it. Rise. And then she said, from this day forward, all hue would have to come through the lines of Osiris. Rise. And then she used the name of Ra that only she knew, and she said, Zahe Rise. Done. Beginning.
Hi, I'm Carol Bolton L, and this is Life's Lessons, ABCS. And I just did a piece. I had done that piece years ago. Bill and I had done that piece years ago. And I had taken it, Tavara was here instead of Wanda, because Wanda Carter is here with me.
Thank you.
Okay, and Tavara was here, and I took it like the first love, but that wasn't really what I wanted to do with that piece, because when I got that piece I had read, I was just beginning to know the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, and then through his teachings, when I read his teachings and I started going to the temple, all these different books started coming to me. Mm-hmm. And one of them was this mythology. Okay. It's the first love stories, you know. And I looked in there, and I know Noble Drew Ali says, God, what God is, you know, we were created through thoughts and emotions. Okay. Okay. And I saw this book, I said, oh, yeah, and I read the book, I said, oh, this is great, this is what he was talking about, you know. And mythology, religion, philosophy, they all combine themselves together, okay? And so, anyway, Eugene had told me that he had taught a class in spirituality or something like that, okay? And so I gave him the book. And I said, oh, read this, read this, read this. And I kept asking, you read this and read that. But the title of the book was The First Love Stories. And the first one was Isis and Osiris. And it was about, you know, the pelvis of Osiris, you know, what the obelisk is and all that. And I guess he thought I wanted him or something. But if he hadn't told me that he used to teach a class, I would have never given him the book.
Okay.
And so I think that's where the stuff started that I wanted a man. Okay. When it really, all it was about God, thoughts and emotions. And with this, I thought for a while there, until the day I was looking on the internet, and I had seen a lot of stuff. I had looked up Isis and Osiris, but I had seen a lot of stuff, because I had read about Isis and Osiris before. But to me, this was a new creation, because you remember in the beginning of Genesis, it said, let there be light, and there was light. So that was the spoken word creating.
Okay.
And then when she did this, it's like she did a recreation.
Okay.
You know, and because she didn't want to dwell on something long enough to really fix it, she wanted a quick fix.
Okay.
And so she made that, she created the pelvis.
Okay.
Okay. And so we got that quick fix.
Okay.
But it has nothing to do, with sex or anything. It's just the connection of all human beings.
So who created the pelvis?
Here it's Isis. Isis is recreating. But the creator, they say that the Egyptian solar god, who is Atan, who is God of creation, they say that he's self-created, and he's the son, S-U-N, and father of the pharaohs. So what Isis was doing was recreating a pelvis, giving herself a comforter, because she didn't want to sit it out. She didn't want to sit this pain out and be content. She wanted a comforter, someone to comfort her right away. And she figured that she recreated this pelvis and had a son by Osiris, because the sun god, Atan, would make it so, because she knew she knew his true name, the name that no one else knew. And so this is how she did that. She wanted a comforter. And they talk about a comforter in the Bible. So a lot of people need to check these out. These gods and stuff of mythology, it's nothing but thoughts and emotions, like they're explaining thoughts and emotions, like Noble Drawley said. So we really need to start checking out a lot of this mythology and trying to put all this stuff together, so we would know. We need to sit down with each other, though. We really need to sit down as a collective instead of an individual. Sit down with each other and try to make a plan to stop some of the things that's going on to people right now.
Remember in the movie Ghosts?
Yes.
When they were molded?
Yes.
This is what was going on. That was nothing but Isis and Osiris.
Okay.
That was nothing but Isis.
That was a very interesting show.
Right,
I mean, that program was very interesting.
Right.
But it was really spiritually bound, because she was so in love with her husband, and when he was taken like that from her, I think that's why her love for him was what made him come back and manifest for her, so they could share those last moments together.
Right. And well, really, what she did was she did this with the pelvis, and Ra, the sun, who's the sustainer of her life.
Okay.
She created Horus.
Okay.
Who is like Jesus. That's the representation of Jesus, Horus. The Immaculate Conception. So you understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, see, this is what I talk about. And see, usually, that's what I'm going to get into with Patterson later on, because I don't know how to talk normal.
Yeah. You talk fine.
No, I don't. I don't know how to talk normal, and people get on my case about this thing, and I'm saying that I don't mean anything like that. Well, if it's a lie, she said it. But they don't understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You're talking about the spirituality of this whole situation.
Right. And many situations, because I've seen love right here in a cloud, and it told me it was love.
Okay.
Tavara called it a gas. But it probably, that's what the clouds are, they're gases, And I had no idea what this was.
Oh, did you create that?
It was a vision.
Okay.
And I put it on cardboard. Okay. I had no idea what it was until I got through with it. Then when I looked at it, I said, wait a minute, a lot of famous artists have drawn something like that.
Yes. That's
so
very
I'm wondering,
creative.
did they get a vision? And then I noticed 5 here, 5 there, 10 there. I had no idea.
So you just started putting this together, and then ended up with what we see here.
Yeah, because in '94, when I came here that was the time when I was doing I was learning the teachings of Noble Drew Ali.
Okay.
And all these visions started coming. I had visions before, and I'd heard the voices before, but then a lot of these visions and something, I don't know what, oh, I know when I was in this class here, the instructor, I've forgotten her name, Andrea or something like that, she had said that it was interesting to put stuff on cardboard and stuff, you know, to make your set interesting. And I said, I'm going to put these visions on cardboard.
That's very
but
nice.
I had no idea. This one, and it was about 4 other pieces. I had no idea what I was doing.
Okay.
I just started doing them. And all except the one with me and the now with the 3 horses. Okay, and the one in the middle when he threw his hood back, it was nothing but darkness.
So you have these spiritual revelations
All the
that
time.
you create
Right.
and put into a cardboard work.
Right, exactly.
That's
exactly.
excellent.
But
That's
see, people
excellent.
they don't get me. They want to put me in a box that I have no idea what the box is. Okay. And apparently they have no idea what box they're putting me in. You understand what I'm saying?
We're all individuals, and I think we're all expressions of the God that we worship, that we know created all living things.
Right, exactly.
And you're his manifestation of Carol. And
Right,
so
exactly.
Carol has these has the capacity to connect with him spiritually the way
Right.
that you do.
Right,
And your
right.
demonstration is through your art and
Right.
your set design and the way you do your show and the whole bit.
Right.
So I'm so pleased that you invited me to participate in your show.
Well, I'm pleased that you're here, and I'm glad you picked me up.
See, this lady here with her ABCs of life you're just phenomenal. I just think that you're such a creative personality.
Yeah, but everybody can't see that. They want to see what they want to see.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
And we all have that option, to see
Right,
what we're
right,
going to see.
right,
But I think that your reflection of the God that I see is a beautiful, creative personality.
Right, right. Yeah, the God that I see. Noble Drew Ali teaches us God of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Okay.
That's who we pray to. Love,
Okay.
we specify who we're praying for because it's always evil, good and bad.
Okay.
Good and evil or whatever, bad and good.
See,
or
now
whatever.
my training shows that, or teaches us that there's only good. And from good, we have the choice as individuals to decide to do whatever it is we want to do.
Okay.
But there's only good. If God is the creator, then there's only God.
Okay.
And God is good, love, and honesty. So therefore, everything else is man's manifestation of who he wants to be.
Yeah, but it's always a negative and positive. In order for there to be to manifest anything to manifest, you got to have a negative and positive electron.
Huh? That's electrons. You're right. And we are energy.
And we are negative and we are positive.
We are energy. We can be anything we want to be.
Right.
He gave us that right. We can
Right.
develop and manifest in any format that we want.
Right,
So
right,
we can
right.
do positive things or we can do negative things.
Right,
So
exactly.
yes, you're right. But
Right,
there
right.
still is only God.
Oh,
and
yeah, right,
so
right, right. That's
man
one
makes
force.
the decision about what he or she wants to do.
Right,
and that's
exactly.
where the negative comes in.
Right.
If we choose to look at this plant and create a circle as you have done to represent the circle of life, then we can do that. If we
Right.
choose to take that plant and stretch it across the room where there's no ending, then we can do that as well. So
Right,
we
right.
have the choice, the
Right.
option to create our life as we want it to be. So if we see that being the drug dealer is what we want to do because we think that fast money is the way we want to go, then we can do that.
Right, right, right.
But if we choose to be the doctor who saves lives through his practice in trying to cure the human body, then we can do that too.
Right, exactly.
So
exactly.
that's my belief. There's
Okay.
only God, and
Yeah.
we decide how we want to use that energy
Oh, okay.
that we are,
Okay.
positively or negatively.
Yeah, because there's always a
Positive and negative.
negative
Yeah.
to everything, no matter
We
what.
have that capacity.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we do. And something, and there's always, it seems like in the Bible, there's always some different creation going on. And I'm wondering, does that mean that we're steadily creating?
Oh yeah, I think
self-centeredly created.
every day. I think every day, every second of the day, we have the capacity to create the world that we live in. So it's whatever we are displaying is what we believe that we want to see. You know, so if we want to see, as I was just saying, things that are positive, I love working with the producers down here, and I see each of them as a creative individual doing their own expression of God's work through their shows. Then that's what I see, because that's what I choose to see. And that's the world that I've created for me. But someone else may say, I'm gonna take this opportunity as a producer at CAN TV, and I'm going to allow all of the young people to come here half naked and use all of the vulgarity that they want, and it's okay too, because that's their expression, you know. So we have these choices, and we have to choose what we want our lives to be, and what we want to display, what we want to manifest in our lives.
Exactly. But you know something, the environment has always played a part too.
Oh, absolutely.
So it all depends on your environment. Because you know something, I was going to get into this with Patterson too, but we've known for years that they've had a system. You know, that's why I say ISIS did a quick fix. Okay. Because other people, they have a system where they manipulate to get farther and farther and farther ahead. We don't have that.
Well, we don't, most of us, well, I won't say most of us, we haven't been trained in the manipulation, the art of manipulation, like a lot of people have. We fall into that, you know, we fall into the bucket of manipulation that other people have brought to, that's how they were able to capture us and bring us to a land that we knew nothing about, because they were able to give our forefathers trinkets to say that, you know, you give us those people, and so we can use them to build this country over here. But they didn't know that they were going to take their children and torture them and kill them, and some of us made it and some of us didn't. They had no idea that these people were manipulative and that they were going to enslave their children. So if they had known that, I don't think they would have did what they did.
Well, we hope they would.
We hope we came from stock better than that.
Exactly.
You know, but so I think it's all life is what you create.
Yeah, but still, what I'm saying, when I say they manipulate, but what I'm saying is we need to manipulate for the good of our children.
We need to teach our children.
And we haven't started planning. We've never had to sit down as a people and did that planning for our children.
We haven't taught. You know, it's almost like there's a generation or two gap from the forefathers. You know, my parents, my mother was very strict in that she believed that you do as I say, not as I do. And then I swore as I was growing up, when I got my kids, I was going to teach them to be holistic, to be independent, to be self-driven. But, you know, some of us may have let our children go too far astray without enough direction, without enough guidance. And so anything left to grow on its own will grow in many directions. You know, they're pulled here and pulled there because they have no base, no base to come from, so they don't know what it is that they should be doing. So they can be convinced to do this or convinced to do that. But if most of us we had structured training, structured parenting. Our parents had methodology in the way that they raised us. But these young people, they're busy trying to figure out who they are. And they have these children, and then they leave them on their parents or their grandparents to go figure out who they are. They don't spend time with their children, because don't you know, a child that is taught, that is given some insight into life, they grow up much more capable of making decisions for themselves. They learn how to think critically, and they learn how to recognize people who are deceitful,
Mm-hmm.
and they know to do something else.
Right, right.
But if they have never been trained, if no one has ever taught them, educated them about who they are and whose they are,
Right, right, right,
then they don't know. They can be swayed by any kind of force.
Yeah.
So I think they're telling us we got to wrap it up. So I don't know. I think we didn't get off into the depth of this creativity, and you got another guest that you need to talk to. But I
But
enjoy this, Carol.
Yeah, I enjoyed this too. And you know, I said this would probably be my last studio, but it may not.
No, don't let it be your last. You're too powerful to be your last.
It may not, because I had allowed people before to stop me from doing studio. And so
you can't
maybe,
stop.
Maybe not.
This is your passion, and to share information like you have a responsibility to the world to tell people the ABCs of life. So you keep on doing that. ABCs of life. You tell them that. Yes. So.
Okay. Because I really want people to know when I say life's lessons, ABCS. A is one, S is one. That means the beginning and the end is the beginning.
Oh, I
so
love
it's life's lessons, ABCS. A lot of people want to put that apostrophe in there, but it's not apostrophe.
Okay.
It's just life's lessons, ABCS.
Okay.
Beginning, the end, the beginning.
See, I'm going to have you write a column in the Chicago Communicator newspaper about ABCS.
Oh, okay.
You need to explain the theory behind what you're doing.
Right.
So thank you again, Carol, for inviting me. I appreciate that.
Oh, I appreciate you being here and everything you do. I appreciate you taking me home and stuff. Honey, please.
That's my contribution to the Carol.
Well, I appreciate it.
All right.
And we're going to go. We're going to go, and we're going to have Wanda back, because we've got to talk. You know, every time I do this piece, this is the second time I've done it, and every time I do it, Bill and I had done another version of it.
Okay.
But every time I do it, I see something else in it.
Yes.
Every time.
Yes.
I probably won't do this piece, but there's a lot of more pieces that you know I have.
Oh, absolutely.
That,
Absolutely.
I'll probably do. So we're going to wrap this up, and thank you all so very much for listening, and see you later. See you later.
I say to the neutrons and cells, I love you, I trust you, I believe in you. You're free to go in and out at will and bring me back knowledge.
And all of those producers, all of them, were much more highly educated than I. And they never had to ask you, who do you say you are?
Oh boy, I had been lucky then, huh? So finally, I've been hurled a question for which it is the most difficult question to answer. Who I am. Who do you say I am?
I say you're Lord of the plane made manifest in the plane of soul in accordance with the Hebrew noble Jordan. That's who I say you are.
All right. then that's good enough, huh?
Is that?
That's good enough. We'll go with whatever your assessment is. But actually, you know, it is a very profound question because to find the answer to that question, it's a question I had to ask myself, sister, many times in my life. Who am I? And this is a kind of quantum question. By quantum, I mean it is a kind of question that we have to leap to a whole different level of consciousness in order to answer. And so as I tried to answer that question, I went on a journey. And if you don't mind, in answering your question, I should share with you just a little bit of that journey that I had to go on to find the answer to that question. Would that be all right?
I would love to hear it. I would love.
Well, it's really interesting because when we ask the question, who am I, what we're really trying to find is our identity, right?
Yes.
Who we really are. And I found that there were certain kinds of rules of identity. That was the first interesting thing. For instance, I found that whenever our identity, whenever our feelings of who we are was relegated to a very low level, we always were identified with our material things. So there's a kind of material self, right?
Yes.
That is made up of your possessions. My house, right?
Yeah.
My car, my money, clothes, my this, my that. But I soon discovered that, Carol, that something must be fundamentally wrong with that conclusion about who I am, because that which is mine cannot be me.
Exactly.
By definition.
Exactly.
These are my houses,
Right.
my money,
Right.
my cars, my this, my that. Therefore, they cannot be me.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's right.
All right. And so I said, that is the true source of who I am.
Right.
These are things I possess. And by definition, that which I possess cannot be the possessor.
Exactly.
I am the possessor. So I had to continue on this search of who am I, right? Very interesting. The next thing I realized that was the body. The body that possessed all of these things.
Show you that all life forms came from Africa, and Adam and Eve, they were in Africa. Okay, they were driven out of the Garden of Eden. They went into Europe. Okay, so all life forms. So everyone is African, and everyone is white.
Well, when Ifa was started,
Human being.
when
Human
Ifa
being.
was started 8,000 years ago, it was the one of the highest and most advanced countries in the world.
Right, exactly.
At the time where Ifa comes, Ifa is, in terms of going back to the white thing,
Right.
my Orishas have different colors. My
Right,
Orisha
right,
is
right.
Obatala,
Right.
is considered white because of purity, white because of clarity, etc. And I actually am a son of Obatala.
Yeah.
So that's my guardian Orisha. Then I became a Babalao, and you go on a higher level. But it doesn't matter what color you're on the outside. If you're Obatala, you're white because you're Obatala.
Exactly, my point exactly.
So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right, right,
so,
right.
But
Yeah.
just through studies, through people we've taught to in Africa.
Oh,
Now
okay.
there are people that practice. I know Nigerian people,
Okay.
Yoruba people. Now if you go back through today, they're
like everybody else.
What?
Freedom, opportunity, and better life.
How long did it take you to get here?
Couple of years.
A couple of years? Why did you leave?
Well, I had to leave because I don't have the chance for a better opportunity and for the good future, and I didn't see it. I chose America.
Was there a revolution going on at that time?
Yes.
There was a revolution.